Now then guys, how you doing? Back on the road again.
If you're a fan of this episode, look away now. Like I said in my previous review, I've historically liked this episode, but watching it for the first time in about 2 years has really changed my opinion on it, especially for this second part. That's not to say it's completely irredeemable. Let's crack on with my thoughts of episode 5 of series 1, World War III. The first plot convenience of this story is that after the dramatic cliffhanger of the previous episode that establishes that the Doctor and everybody in the room is in grave danger, the Doctor can just put the energy into his hand and then transfer it to the Slovene while saying, deadly to humans maybe, implying the circuit around the neck somehow connects them all and also has human genetic code, or whatever you want to describe it. And then various character manages to stop the energy by pressing the neck circuit. Ugh. The direction is also incredibly ropey. When Mickey comes to retrieve Jackie from the presence of the Slovene creature, the two make their escape to the door, obviously. But to get there they must go to the left of the camera from their perspective, but as we cut to the wide, if the two made that route out of the small kitchen they would have been, at the very least, hit by the Slovene. This may seem like a nitpick in this form, but it's very noticeable and not the last example of shoddy direction. With the sheer that Slovene is going, surely Rose and Harriet would have been stored instantly. Rose then closes the door in the very next shot, implying that they somehow outrun the Slovene. Talking about how far is the gathering from the corridor? The Philippines have time to recover, stand up, fanny about, change, appear unaffected other than... Yeah, and... That being said, I love this exchange.
He did it! That man there!
I think you'll find the Prime Minister is an alien in disguise. That's never going to work, is it? No. Fair enough.
I would love to see a lift that opens without being prompted and closes so quickly when under attack. More sloppy direction here in the lift sequence that I didn't actually spot first time around. Thanks to the keen eye Bradley Bono's Brunei.
That man there!
I can tell you that, well, why not let him explain it?
Can he see Harriet and Rose in the corridor? Because it's implied that he can, and so he goes to rescue them, and it implies that Harriet and Rose can see the Doctor, but then the vision from the lift shows them running into shot and around the corner. It's not very well done.
The sound effect far being mixed in this was really poorly done and or perhaps just more noticeably in the elevator scene where a little else is happening. There's no echo, no reverb, it's just... the same old fart sound effect we've heard several times already, and it's just in the scene that
I need to be naked. Rejoice in it. Your body is magnificent. Slovene is not our species.
So you're family.
No! Take me first! Take me!
okay. Take back what I said about Wilton's performance last week.
Who the hell are you?
An idiot sandwich.
Nice to meet you.
Likewise.
The next sequence on from this, however, is superb. We get to see the sonic waves on the screwdriver pulsate the door lock, and then the Doctor threatened to increase the flammability of the alcohol to blow them all up. Of course, a bluff, which the Slovene eventually realise, and then of course the iconic scene that I love the GIF version of.
And how do we get out?
So how did you come to get the part?
It was written by Russell T Davies, who I did a thing called Second Coming with. Fantastic writer.
I'm shaking my booty.
I like the parallel that can be established between this episode and Midnight. Had the Doctor asked for the coffee man's name but Harriet doesn't know it, like the moment in the series 4 episode, Midnight.
What was his name?
Who?
This one, the secretary or whatever he was called.
I don't know.
The hostess. What was her name?
I don't know.
I really enjoyed the score from Gold in this episode, particularly the music that plays when Jackie's on the phone to the cabinet room.
Well, I've got a question if you don't mind. Because since that man walked into our lives... So what's that website?
All the secret information known to mankind. It says password.
Buffalo, 2 F's, 1 L.
All the secret information known to mankind.
Oh, Tiddles, how did you get here? You know what, enough astronauts filling our spaceships for you. Now that you're here, I'm taking you with me. Anyway, speaking of the music, the key change when Jackie stands up and directs her speech to the Doctor is great, and the facial expressions of Eccleston and Piper showed the fear and jeopardy the Doctor's put Rose into by taking her with him.
I'm talking to him. Because I've seen this life of yours, Doctor.
A moment I've always liked is when Jackie opens the door and then the menacing music plays as the police officer pans his head up. It's a great little intimidating touch from an acting standpoint. And another parallel to Midnight.
You're supposed to be the expert. Think of something. I'm trying. You're the hostess. You're supposed to do something.
I think RTD must have wanted to either A, do a better version of Aliens of London, or B, in his final series 3 years on, wanted to pay homage to a former story, or perhaps both. But I highly doubt it's a coincidence. The Doctor has always brushed off domestics, especially in the previous episode, and does so at the end of this episode. But when he is stalling and Rose says, "That's my mother," the Doctor kicking into action to save Jackie is a lovely moment that shows us that the Doctor would do anything for his faithful companion. This sequence goes on for way too long. Funny how hard expensive wooden doors can be broken through easily, but not for the council door. And therefore the immersion is taken away, as this Levine should have had Jackie and Mickey by now, whilst Walton delivers a hell lot of exposition. I find the death scene of this Levine hard to fault. I too like the moment afterward where it's established that various Levine felt the death of his relative. Nice character moment for this Levine and an excellent shift of tone from the jubilation of the victory back to the seriousness of the villainous plot.
The streets are deserted. Everyone's home, just waiting.
In the scene where the Doctor talks about a plan that may see the fall of Rose, I like the little moment where the Doctor is taking up most of the frame, arms out wide. And then we get a cutaway to Rose in a pink shirt with her arms close to her side and nervous. When Harry tells the Doctor to act on his plan, the Doctor's shift from mundane to suddenly happy and cheerful is really weird. This isn't even alien to me, this is just bizarre! Why does he completely disregard the sequence that just occurred?
What are you doing?
Hacking into the Royal Navy.
I'm sorry, I just can't. I like Rose's intuitiveness when fighting for survival, quickly identifying the safest room. Big shift from her seemingly fragile nature just a short while ago. The missile striking and the cupboard spinning has actually aged quite well, to be fair to it. With the odd exception, the first 33 minutes or so of this episode is really bad. But the final 7, from the humour,
My mother's cooking.
Good. Put her on a slow eat and let her simmer.
to the character beats, and particularly this moment,
Don't go, sweetheart. Please don't go.
it's freaking amazing. Though why Jackie is so fine with the Doctor now, when the day before she was hating his guts after seeing her daughter for the first time in a year, is weird. But wow, the last moment is impactful.
By the time I get back, yeah? 10 seconds would have passed. Just 10 seconds.
10 seconds.
And did anybody notice the little musical score that is very reminiscent of the one in Torchwood?
So stop worrying. I'll see you in 10 seconds' time.
So, is it a hit or a miss? For me, this marks the first miss I have given in the series of reviews I've embarked on. When people criticise this story by simply pointing to this Levine and saying too silly, I'm sure we can collectively sigh. Like, come on, give some explanation. World War III is an episode that falls flat in many ways. From a writing perspective, everything is so easy, but it's easy to watch. But when actually watching it to review, the walls come crumbling down. So, frustrating writing alongside some shoddy amateurish direction and a lackluster villainous plot that has never truly recovered from the failings of the first part, all mushed together to form a genuinely crap story. Thankfully the final 7 minutes are excellent, well somewhat iffy, and the emotional beats hit me good. Bad, but enjoyably nostalgic and not completely terrible. I give World War III a 3 out of 10. Thank you so much for watching this review of World War III. Now if you heard the previous episode of Aliens of London, you'll know that I've got a new job, and also I am going to university in a couple of weeks, so I simply won't have time to continue doing this weekly. So I'm going to shift the upload schedule of this onto the Sundays of the months, one per fortnight, but I may just upload when I get the chance to make a video and it's finished. So I hope you stick with me. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the 19th for my review of Dalek. Goodbye for now.